Hi, in this video, we'll be talking about the funnel chart. Funnel charts are ideal for visualizing the process or a progression towards a goal, with each segment of the funnel representing a stage in the process. The size of each segment corresponds to the magnitude of the values at each stage, allowing the users to see how the values decreases or accumulates as they move through the funnel. Funnel charts are commonly used in sales and marketing to visualize the conversion rates or the sales pipelines. Let's go to the Power BI screen and see how can we create these funnel charts. So we are in our Power BI screen, and to create a funnel chart, we have this symbol of funnel over here just beside the waterfall chart. We can click on it and expand the size of it. Now to create the funnel chart, we need few things. The first thing is the category. So over here, if you look at this, the add data to your visual tab, we have this categories part. So for which particular category do you want to create the funnel chart? So let's say I want to create the funnel chart for all of my subcategories. So I will drag and drop my subcategories over here in the categories part. Then what are the values that you want to see? So I want to see that what is the sales like when we are talking about different subcategories and what would be the cumulative sales out of them. So then I have to drag and drop this sales over here in the values. I will just put it in focus mode and you can see that the total sales is the part of these all subcategories. So over here, the least amount of sales is coming from the labels, then it is coming from the fasteners, envelopes, supplies, and as this moves up, the maximum amount of sales is coming from the phones and the copiers. So this basically is in the shape of the funnel. And what is it showing you? So if you come over here at the bottom part, this is the first part and this is labels. So it is showing that labels right now is contributing the 4.3% of the overall sales. Then if we move to the next part, it would show you that right now it is 4.88% increase. If you just go above, it is showing you that it is the 10% of the total. So it is calculating the total from this part. This is the first value for it, and just above it is the previous values. So if you come over here, you can see that the phone, it is showing you the 100% of the sales. Then if you just come down, it is showing you the percentage has now dropped to 88.44%. So what it is implying is that first of all, there would be two inferences that this particular funnel is showing you that how the sales is progressing and which is the least category of the sale giving item. Let's understand it from a simple example. So in the next page, again, I will try to create a funnel chart for you. So if I click on this funnel, increase the size, then in the categories, I know that I have this categories field where I have only three values. So I can drag and drop it over here in the categories. And in the values, I will put again the sales. So now the overall sales that I'm having is 12 point something million. Over here, you can see the first part, which is the office supply, is contributing 79.8% of the total of this particular part of the technology. Technology is basically giving me the 4.74 billion sales. And if you just take out 79.8% of it, that is contributed by office supplies. So in this way, what you can do is you can try to compare two different categories and how they are performing while you're working towards a single goal of the sales. So let's say if you have two categories over here, the furniture and the office supplies. So now you know that how is the furniture being giving you any performance in terms of when you are calculating it with any other category. Let's say if you are trying to compare it with office supplies, then you know that how is furniture performing when we are talking about the comparison of it with office supplies or technology. So these are the things that you can do with the help of funnel chart. And also you can see that what is the particular part that is giving you the highest amount of any sales, quantity sold, or any kind of profit. So let's try to create another funnel chart, and this time I'm taking profit in mind. So let's try to find out the profit of different subcategories over here. So again, for that, what I'll do is I will drag and drop the subcategories over here and I will drag and drop the profit. Now, if we talk about the profit over here, so we have been working with this data set to create every visual. And we already know that the tables is one of the subcategory which is giving us some loss. So over here, you can see the tables is at last. So if I come over here, you can see that it is giving me like no particular bar when we are talking about the funnel chart. And as you slowly progress to the fastness, then it is giving you some positive profit. So there it is starting to make some bars. And as you move towards the top, you can see copiers is the one which is giving me the highest amount of profit over here. But if you compare it with the phones, so you can easily try to identify what is the change in the percentage of both these subcategories. How is it performing when we are talking about the copiers? So in this way, you can try to compare multiple categories or subcategories within themselves by putting any measure on it. If we talk about the formatting option, so go over here and format your visual. The first one is the colors option. By default, the funnel's color is set to blue over here. So let's say if I want to change the funnel's color, and if I cannot find the color of my choice in this particular palette, what I can do is I can go in more colors option, and over here I can choose the color of my need. So let's say I'm trying to keep it as green just as to show the profit over here. Then let's say if you want to change the color of every subcategory individually. So for that, I also have this show all option over here. You can turn it on, and over here you can try to individually change the color of any subcategories. So let's say if you wanted to change the color of all these tables, and if you don't want to keep it as green, so over here what I can do is I can keep it as red, just to indicate that it is not giving me any kind of profit. But since now I don't have any data bar, so it is not showing me that color in too depth. But still, if you want to change colors, you can also do it with this part. So let's say if I'm also trying to change the color of fastness, you can see the color has now changed. So in this way, you can also try to change the colors of these bars individually, or you can just try to change the color of all the bars directly from this default part, and you can try to match it with your theme. Then I have this data labels options. So right now you can see the data labels are showing me, and it is showing me that what is the profit generated by each of the subcategory. So if I just turn it off, these would disappear. So again, coming back to the data labels over here, you can try to change the position of these data labels. Right now they are outside. So let's say if I want to keep it at any other part, you can change these values from over here. So since it is in focus mode right now, you can, then the other thing would be to change the values of this. So right now the values are shown in the terms of thousands or some numbers. So what I can do is I can go in the values part. The first part is, let's say if you want to change any kind of font in this, if you want to make it bold, or if you want to change the color of it, or let's say if you want to change the font type, so you can control it with this part. So let's say I want to keep the color as blue, so I can change the color. So you can see it has now turned blue. What would be the display units? So right now I have kept it as auto, and it is automatically taking it as thousands. If you don't want it to keep it in thousands, you can choose millions from over here, and you can see I have got some zeros just ahead of every number. Then again, if you want to change the font type, you can choose the font option from over here, and you can choose your desired font type. So let's say I want to make it bold, so I will use this font type, and also I can change the font size from over here. I can also underline them. So these are the various formatting options that are available. Again, in the options, I have like the options to control these data values. The first one is the position option. So right now the position is kept as inside center. Also, you can choose this outside end, and it would try to change the data labels position as per as it is trying to fit in that visual. So whenever the size has increased or decreased, it will try to fit itself. Then I have this label contents option. So right now I've kept it as data values, or let's say if you want to change it and if you want to make it any in percentage values, what you can do is you can use this percentage of first options. So it is taking the first value in consideration and then the change in the percentage. Then I also have the percentage of previous, where it would take the previous values in consideration. So these are the ways in which you can change the label contents. Also, you can try to merge those two values. Let's say if you want to see the data values also and the percentage also, I also have these two options, the data value and percentage of first, and the data value and percentage of previous. Then we have these category labels options. So these category labels that are shown in the left hand side, you can try to change their font type, font size, make them bold, make them underline, italic, and change the color. Then also, you can try to change the conversion rates. So the conversion rates are shown over here. So let's try to change the color of it. So let's say I'm keeping it as red. So you can see the 0% and the 100% color has now changed to red. So you can try to modify these parts also. So these were some of the formatting options that were present in this funnel chart. Also, if I go to the journal, I have some general formatting options. For example, the title, and the effects. If you want to show any shadow or if you want to make any background, all these things can be done from this parts. And also they can be found in the properties, in which you can try to control the size of your visuals. So this was all for this particular session. In the next session, we'll be talking about the scatter chart in Power BI. Thank you.